What is the main things you should do when managing a growing team? What's going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the Weekflow, where I take you behind the scenes of my company Genflow and we show you how we do and what we do. If you're an entrepreneur, you're interested in starting your own business, you have your own business, or you just like anything to do with building brands, e-commerce, social media, influencers, you're probably gonna love this video. Before we get started, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I've got tons and tons of content, which is pretty much not like anything else you see, because there ain't no lying down at a beach, getting stuff done, passive income, and all this kind of stuff that people talk about. This is what actually you have to do to build a business, which is hard work, and you're going to see some of that in this video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shan. I am the CEO of my company called Genflow. I have a team of about 50. We help social media influencers build their own brands. You must know who influencers are, right? You follow them on Instagram, YouTube, and whatever else, and you may see their work at different brands, but some of them sell their own stuff, and that's where we come in. We are a company that give people the infrastructure to be able to then go ahead and build themselves an amazing business. That's what we do. In this week's video, I'm first gonna now sit down and quickly answer some questions. I think you're gonna find this useful. Let's answer some questions. Alright, so one of the first questions to answer is someone sent me a message saying, what is next for influencers? You know, they've gone from being like promoting brands to now a lot of them want to start brands, and clearly Genflow has come and like done that. What do you think is next? It was a great question. He asked me to answer it in the video, so here we are. I actually feel like we're such at an early stage to say what's next. The only thing next is that more influencers are now earlier on realizing the power that they truly have, that they have an audience. You know, an audience is the hardest thing to get in any business. In any business, to anything in the world, whether you're a musician, a sports person, whoever, creating an audience is the hardest thing. So people are now realizing earlier on that, yeah, I'm not gonna just limit myself, and I'm not just gonna do something for such a small amount of money, because if you're paying me X amount, surely you're making this much from me. So I feel like what's next is that more and more people are gonna be entrepreneurs. I feel like that is it. More, especially the younger ones, they're never even gonna dream of going to a university or educating themselves. They from day one are gonna be like, I wanna build myself an audience, and I wanna turn that into a business. So I feel like that is actually what's next. Entrepreneurship is here and is about to be the biggest it's ever been, and anyone who creates an audience has got the biggest chance of winning. Next, someone sent me a question saying that, and I get this one the most, I posted about it on Genflow too recently. What do you do if you have no money and you want to start marketing? Like how to start marketing for your brand with no budget? It's a great question, and it's something that actually had to happen to me myself. When I first started out, before Genflow, when I first did my app, Nom Nom, I had no budget. 12 on the app, and I went to the gym, came back to be like 16, and there's two guys in the gym that I got them to download the app in front of me. I'm like, I wonder who the other two are. So like the struggle is like, I was used to be like refreshing sign-ups, and what you got to do is you got to figure out who are your customers, but then where do they hang out? So meaning online, where do they hang out? Like, are they on TikTok, are they on Instagram, YouTube, forums? Where do they hang out? Where do they spend their time? Where do they consume content? How can you go into that world and try to interact with them? If you have no money, you got to do it physically. You have time. Either you have time or you have money. In this case, I had a lot of time. So what I did was, it was a health and fitness app. I thought, where is everybody? And there was a lot of forums, Reddit, other forums, and there's also a lot of Facebook groups. So on Facebook, you can go and search groups. You can search like fitness, and you'll start seeing all the groups, and you'll be amazed with like, there's groups with like 100,000 people, 10,000 people, 20,000 people. And how Facebook works is, if you go and drop something in one of those groups, everyone who's in that group will get it in their feed. And then if one person likes it, it'll go to their friends that this person likes this video. So what I did was, I didn't go in the group and say, hey, download my app. I would talk about something like, hey guys, like, what type of workouts do you like? And someone says something like, you know, okay, yeah, I do as well. Actually, you know, I've made an app and it's this. We'd love for you to take a look. Or here's a workout from one of my apps. Or here's this from this, and it would drive traffic. So I used that method to get up to 40,000 monthly active users. If I had paid for that, it probably would have cost 100, 200,000 to get to that level of users, but it was very hard, it was not sustainable, and it was a way to get some traction to prove that this is working. But ultimately, you know, if you know me, you know my story, that it was the wrong business to build just because social media is just too hard. That even though I had done that and then started spending money on ads, it was just costing way too much to get people and keep them there, because other social networks were just doing it better. So I hope that helps. You can do it. You just need to figure out where the people are and start manually trying to go and interact with them in whatever way that is to get yourself your customers. So this is actually a very, very good question. So right now, you know, I would say overall, this keeps on changing for me, but ultimately at this very moment, Number one, I'm spending my time on making sure that everything that we're meant to be doing in the company is actually happening the way it should be happening. In that as well is figuring out how we can improve. Obviously, going from a company that was like 12 people to 50, so much has changed. So many more people are here. The people that I was working with now have loads of people working with them, and it's about kind of figuring that out, improving process, how to do that. So I spend a lot of my time doing that, which is very, very time consuming. It's tough, it's stressful, because different people work in different ways, different people consume things in a different way, organize themselves in a different way. You can't have one standard way to do everything, and I'm realizing that on the job. There's no blueprint or process or book that's telling you how to manage a team of 50 across 6 different things that we do across 50 plus clients. You can't learn that in that way. You got to learn it by practice and by trying stuff. So that's why I was number one, spend my time on. Number two, as some of you may know, I'm currently working on a fundraise for GenFlow. All right, cool. So this is a cool question. My number one tip for email marketing would be, it's actually just automation. That you wouldn't get the time to always write the emails and get them out, that you should 100% automate them. What I mean by that is, for example, if you use MailChimp, go into automation and just set them up to automatically go out after a couple of days, basically. So one's going on day 1, day 4, day 7, day 9, day 11. Make them go out like that, but personalize and write them as much as possible in normal language. So it's conversational and it's speaking to the person, not corporate language. That'll be my number one tip on that. All right, so this is a very, very good question. It's actually something that's very unique, because not many people go through the experience of trying to grow a team from 0 to 15. A lot of people do, because they'll have a business at the beginning. They'll have about 10, 15 people around them, and it can be a very good business. But from 15 to 50 and then beyond is where things get a lot more different, because if you're running a startup, you start forming into a full business where you have to become more corporate. There's got to be more processes, more this. To be honest, this question is quite something that I can't answer by myself. So I think what we'll do for this is we're going to go around, ask the team, and we'll turn this Weekflow into more of a video about team building. How is my team doing it? I'm going to ask them to answer this for you, so you can actually hear from them how they manage to hire the right people, what processes are they putting in place, and what kind of stuff are they doing in their teams. And then what I'll do is I'll give you my tips straight after that.
Hey, off the juice, coding got me tripping. Cut the coupe, walker roof is missing. Ice, lemonade, my neck was tripping.
Yo, your team's getting pretty big now. What's that like?
Yeah, man, it's mad. Back when it was just a few of us, being the only developer or having only 2 developers and building stuff, we had so many ideas and we couldn't do them all at once. I've definitely learned that the power of a team, it doesn't matter how smart or how talented you are, you need more people to do it, because you can just do things in parallel. Having feature A and you've got feature B in an app, if it was just me, I have to do feature A first and then feature B second. But having 2 developers, you can do it in parallel. That means get it done way faster. So harnessing that power by having a massive team is huge. I love it. But honestly, now we can get so much done, and we're getting so much done. It's insane. I've never seen a work rate as high as what we have here. Every single team member that's joined has been this is unusual. This is not how quickly things get made and how well they get made. There's so much process in place now, and having all these team members. It's a huge bonus.
At the moment, it's been cut to say here.
What it is that one of them is using the session-based value.
The way I was doing it is when you come in, you track when they get to the page. When they leave, you track then. And nice, that looks good. User came to the profile screen, then click.
What kind of processes do you have in place?
So we have obviously different hierarchies within. That's only because imagine it was a flat team structure, and I don't know, if it was development and I'm here, I couldn't talk to everyone, I couldn't be on top of everyone. The way it flows is, we have these micro teams which have a product manager, an account manager, a main team lead developer, and a support developer. So within the development team, the way that works is the main developer is in charge of everything that goes in and out. They are solely responsible for it.
Yep.
The supporting developer will assist them, and they will manage them to get their work done on time, or to get their tasks done, whatever it is, so it flows down in that way. And the team lead is solely responsible. So by having accountability, we can ensure that things get done. And that's the only way I can be sure, because ultimately, with all development, it comes down to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I need to have people that I can trust. So these team leads, they have their accountability to me, and likewise I have my accountability to the business, and it's the same thing. Yeah.
Are there any things that you found super useful with managing a team?
Because it's growing so fast. One thing that I found really difficult was to stay on top of everyone. Because on top of that, I have my own stuff to deal with, I have my own work. So we created a weekly throwback doc. All the developers, the team members have to finish at the end of the week. And essentially, it's like a throwback. You look back at the week and you answer 3 main questions. One is, what have you done this week? And these have to be bullet points. I've explicitly said to the team that I don't want the most text to win. It's not about that. I want a quick oversight over what's going on, what have you done this week? So the first question, what have you done this week? Second question, what have you not accomplished this week? That's also important. Third question, so this is on the weekend, so we ask, what is your plan for the next week? So people come in on Monday morning and they know what they're doing. There's none of like, okay, let's decide now like what we're going to do. No, they know the week before. It gives them time to think about it over the weekend, wherever they need. On top of that, we do have these daily stand-up calls on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which in that we just talk about it in a daily perspective. So what have you done today? What couldn't you do today? And what is blocking you from tomorrow? Because if there's a dependency on another team member, maybe it might not even be in development, maybe you're waiting for content or something like that, that needs to be addressed before the day starts the next day.
Yeah.
So if there's a problem there, these get escalated to me or the relevant team member and it gets sorted out. So these things help a lot because when you have loads of people, it's insanely hard to be on top of everyone.
How many roles are out at the moment for your team?
5, I think.
What do you look for when you hire? Like, how do you hire the best people?
Something that I've found that works for me, and I have to say, my team now is amazing. They're incredible, and the reason they are of this nature is because I particularly look for problem solvers. So people who have gone and used their skills, so say we're talking about development again in this case, they've gone and used their skill to solve a problem that they wanted to solve, and they haven't come to me and said, yeah, I built this component for this company that I don't care about, it's not published or whatever. It's like, no, I wanted to learn Japanese and I was on the train a lot, but there's nothing I could use offline, so I built this app which lets me download it to my phone and then I can do it offline. Like, that's like ingenuity, and finding developers is another problem. Finding people who are like forward thinking, and that's what our company's about. That is the key, that they have a natural thirst to solve problems rather than just doing it just because they were told to do it. There's a complete difference in that kind of person.
Lips sealed like pillow talking on no rag. In my earlobe got you.
A really good thing to kind of like add to the top, because this kind of stuff, those kinds of people wouldn't be able to buy normally.
It's like, obviously with fabric you can put the elastic inserts and we can make it wider.
Yeah.
So let's also mock up one that's the same size as this.
We're currently waiting for an Uber to go to see another potential office space.
Fraser only interviews me outside. I don't know why.
Obviously, your team has grown massively since I joined. How are you finding having a bigger team?
It's good. It's amazing how much more you can get done in a set time frame. So we've just hired someone else. This will be my 8th hire, and this will be the first person that actually I won't train myself. So just kind of coming in, process and how we do things here, and we work a little bit differently than most places, and we've set up things differently to try and become more efficient, which is really good, but obviously that takes learning. And like anything, we're obviously working with clients, we're working with factories, we're working with shipping companies, warehouses all over the world. So there's a lot to learn. It's a really involved thing, and it's not like one person's pigeonholed into just one thing. They are spread across. Obviously the team's not massive, so if one person's off, one person's on holiday, whatever it is, they need to know, okay, how do I translate those shipping documents into customs? How do I get it cleared? How do I use HS codes, for example? So no, it's good. It's always a learning process. We've got a really strong hiring process now to make sure that actually it's the right person, the right fit. And we haven't had too much, luckily, of kind of people joining and actually it works out they're not the right person. We haven't really had that at all in my team anyway, which is amazing. Certainly when I started, and it was literally just me here running products, I was doing designs, I was chatting to factories, I was chatting to clients, I was reviewing samples, kind of doing everything. All the process for that was actually in my head. And obviously with one person, with 2 person, with 3 people, you can kind of make it work with that process of just having it kind of in your head. But
when you're going into a new project or a feature, a product, whatever that is, you should create a checklist. I know that sounds very basic, but what you should do is kind of separate yourself from everything, sit with a clear mind, and just think about, okay, so for this launch, for this new clothes or these new thing that I'm gonna release, what do I need to know? And then you start from literally the basic thing.
In my earlobe got 2 carats, VVS. Got a pen.
Not far off, like we can get this a bit heavier.
Before I joined in the content team, it was just Nellis. So we're going to ask him what that's like, because it's growing. It's growing very fast.
No, last year beginning of May, it was just me. Yeah, we have grown fast, about 8 people in the content team now, and we're still hiring for it. We've got a few more positions open at the moment right now for that. So yeah, hopefully next year we'll be double digits.
What do you spend most of your time doing now? So obviously it's completely different to when it was just you editing all the promos, filming everything.
Well, something I didn't actually anticipate when growing a team is actually how much time goes into actually managing people, making sure everyone's doing what they're doing, content comes in, distributing that to our content creators. So a lot of my time actually goes into managing the team, which is quite ironic.
As you know, we do some incredible stuff with ads here at Genflow. I know that a lot of clients have been increasing their budgets recently. A lot of brands have been getting a lot bigger. So I wanted to talk to Rob a little bit about what is happening. So let's go and see.
Loads happening this week with ads. We're putting out loads and loads of new content for all of our clients, and we're particularly looking at kind of some of the new stories. So if you're a fitness client and you're back in the gym, can you actually do classes at the gym? Probably not, so that suits perfectly to get kind of a new workout guide. We've also been launching clients on MailChimp, doing their email services. So yeah, we're doing that with a few of our clients, writing out loads of fresh content and building out full email funnels and sequences. We had a client come to us saying that they want to start doubling their spend. So one of the things when you start doubling your spend on ad platforms, you kind of have to go and look at it and really revamp the whole strategy. Because if you do the same thing over and over again, you're just going to get slowly declining results because you're just hitting the same people with the same ads. So we've started looking at new kind of audiences that we can target, and we started looking at different ways that we can tell similar messages, just building that frequency, getting people confident with the brand and eventually ready to buy from them. As part of that strategy as well, I'm also looking at ways that we can keep long-term customers, customer retention over the next 6 months, over the next year, and that will definitely make sure that their sales are really good and they've doubled their money, it's money well spent. So as forever with ads, we're always building kind of our platforms, our strategies. So we've had launches on Snapchat, launches on YouTube. We're doing more and more stuff with push notifications now for our clients with apps too. But we're also looking at ways that we can differentiate the marketing strategies. So starting to plan and strategize for platforms like LinkedIn as well, and just try and be really different with all of our clients, give them their own marketing strategies and one that work for them and their audiences.
What are you doing?
I am literally just finalising an offer we've just put out. So we've had somebody accept a role who's hopefully going to be starting in the next 4 weeks, and we've got 2 more people potentially in the mix to be offered in the next 48 hours. So it's going to be a very, very busy week in our hiring team.
Cool.
Which, as you can see, is literally just me today. A lot of stuff happening, man. A lot of growth.
How many roles do we have out at the moment?
Yeah, we've got 11 roles. Every single one of them is top priority, hiring now, ready to go. So yeah, man, I'm busy calling out candidates, arranging interviews, getting people into the pipelines, conversating with managers and finding out what their needs are and how we can, create a bigger and better team. Even though right now the team we have is amazing, it's difficult turning amazing into better than amazing. I don't know what the word is for it.
One thing we were discussing earlier is, especially with streetwear brand and apparel brands, should you do like a teaser? Should you do a small launch at the start, 50 units, 100 units, 200, 500, whatever it is, as a small drop? And then should you move on to new designs straight away, or should you bring those same designs back? And personally, the conclusion we came to this morning was almost like a 3-drop process, where you bring out your first designs because you want to obviously launch it's amazing designs. Drop 2 in theory should be different because you want to keep newness and obviously new content, etc. However, maybe 1 or 2 items repeated, and then drop 3 is where it gives you a little bit more flexibility to bring back the best sellers. Obviously you want the ones that have sold the best to obviously bring them back, and obviously they're going to be the ones that people are sharing on Instagram because they've got it and they've received it, they've loved it, they're wearing it. So obviously there's going to be more organic demand for that.
All this money when I grew up, I had nothing. Filled with
what you've already done, the things you'll be able to achieve is honestly going to be crazy. So yeah, super excited, and let's do this. Yeah, no, amazing, man. Cool. All right, take care. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks. Bye. Yo, so that was actually really, really cool. Another client just signed. We've been on a roll lately. From COVID, what happened was that essentially influencer marketing has just taken a huge step forwards, that people want to build their own businesses. Weirdly, it's been really great for us that if this never happened, people will still be getting their, getting their monthly checks from whatever brand, and they're just happy with that. But when those checks stopped, your car you want to pay for, you need to pay for your house, you need to pay for all the stuff that you have, all of a sudden your money stops. So it's in a weirdly, it's been obviously great for us in that way. building relationships with agencies and whatever case. So yeah, on that note, I actually forgot to say, we've signed a bulk load of clients recently. One of them is Karina Kopov, who's part of the vlog squad. I'll put her profile over here. Hugely excited about that brand and what we're gonna do. Similarly, another one is Mariah. Again, super talented, excited to do her brand as well. So that was out in LA. Another person is Joe Stetics, who's a fitness influencer. Shout out to Rambir, who we work, who is his manager. That's all done as well. Something coming exciting with him. So yeah, to be honest, there's actually others too. The team is doing a great job. All the networking and stuff we've been doing for years is now coming together, which is cool. Anyway, tired. It was a long conversation. Time to get some food. I'll see you soon. What's going on? So it's Friday, I'm at home today, working from home. So in this video, we've been going through like how we manage a team and some of the stuff you've heard from the team as well on that topic. So I guess from me, let's get straight into it. What is the main things you should do when managing a growing team? And for me, 4 years of doing this, you know, today a team of 50. Overall, I've probably had about 80 different people over the past 4 years. Some obviously come and gone. Learned so many things, so many mistakes made. I think the biggest thing for you as you take on more people, most people think the way to manage is, you know, tell them what to do, let them get on with it, and then see how they got on at the end, and it should be okay. I find that that doesn't really work. That only works at a very later stage, you know, which means 9 months in. From my experience, it takes 9 months for someone to become a very good person for your team. It takes a while. So the thing you need to do is you should be setting the requirement. What I mean by that is that if you tell someone, hey, can you come up with a social media plan? And then you let them get on with it, they're not really gonna know what they should really be doing or how they should be doing it. You should give them a lot more direction and information and then let them go and do their work and then bring it back to you. And then you feedback and then you bring it back to you, you feedback. So you should be setting a lot more guidance around what is the expectation. Why most people in a growing team, where it goes wrong is that you think that everyone's going to work at the same level when it's just not the truth. People don't work at the same level. Everyone has their own way of working. Everyone has their own ambition, style, focus. So to try to like level plane that, if you start creating the expectation, either you'll have some that will raise to that level and they'll be able to handle it, or they wouldn't, and essentially you'll have to move away from them and bring someone else to the team. So that would be my number one thing. You set the expectation in your business, in your department, in your team, because that's the thing that everybody will follow. Then give people feedback as much as possible. Don't say to someone, go away, plan this whole thing and come back to me and then I'll give you feedback. Try to feedback as much as possible and fast as possible. You know, use a Loom, record your feedback through the presentation and go back. You know, use a Google Doc and make comments for people to look at. That would be my number one tip. I guess second tip in managing a growing team is trying to find the fit. Not so much experience, more like personality and style of working. So style of working, what I mean is just your like kind of mentality. So me, I'm a hustler. So you know, my mentality is like a hustler mentality. I like people around me that are like, let's get this shit done. Let's put this shit on sale and let's make some money. That's my way of thinking. And that's the people that I like around me. If I don't want to hear, oh, this is so hard. I don't think we should do this. This is not the right way. Unnecessary challenge you and the team and what we're thinking, rather than like, you know what, let's go for it, let's see what happens. You know, Shan, I don't really like this idea, but you know what, let's try it. If it doesn't sell, then we'll know, right? But the next time we'll try this idea. That's the way I like it. So I guess you gotta find people when you're trying to grow a team that fit your way of working, because it's gonna be a struggle essentially. Lastly, I guess my final advice, and if you've made it this far, thank you for watching this video, is you need to have just processes in place. Honestly, as lame as that sounds, the more corporate you can become in a weird way actually helps you. So if you're managing a growing team, in your team you need process. That what do we do weekly? Is there a spreadsheet? Is there Asana, Trello, this? The more systemized you can make something, the better it would do for you. But yeah, comment down below. Let me know if you have any struggles right now. I can address them in the new video. Hit me up on Instagram. I can also answer those questions for you. But most people struggle with is finding the right people, where to find the right people, how are they going to integrate into the team, what structure you need to have in your team, how to make sure you're getting the best out of them, how to make sure you're managing them but not doing it too much that they get disheartened. That's the stuff you need to focus on as a business owner, as somebody who's running a team, running a department. So hope you liked this video, hope that was valuable. That's the week flow, and I will see you next week.